Welcome to the Dementia Caregivers podcast series. In this podcast, Susan Howland, with the California Southland Chapter of the Alzheimer's Association, will cover how you, as the caregiver, can better understand the needs-driven behaviors of people living with dementia. First, what common symptoms do people living with dementia experience?
Some individuals in the early stage might ask repetitive questions, might get lost, whereas somebody in the middle stages might experience more agitation, aggression, even some hallucinations.
What are the most common causes of these symptoms?
So the symptoms and these behavioral expressions are probably caused by maybe one of four categories, four reasons. The first is really the disease itself. The brain is impacted, there's cell death. Another category would be unmet physical needs. Also, some individuals are challenged because the task they're given is too big for them. And then finally, the last category that might trigger some behavioral symptoms is the environment.
Why are certain behaviors worrisome?
I think certain behaviors are more worrisome than others, especially when it involves safety. It might cause the individual to withdraw, become anxious. These symptoms are also equally frustrating and maybe scary and overwhelming for the family caregiver as well. So we really want family caregivers to be able to address behavioral symptoms in order to improve quality of life for both the person with dementia as well as for themselves.
What are some examples of needs that may prompt certain behaviors?
One might be wandering. My husband, every day at 7 a.m., wants to leave the house. Well, maybe he's trying to go to work, because he always went to work at 7 in the morning. Maybe he is hungry. Maybe the house is too loud because everyone is up trying to get ready for school, feed the dog, get breakfast on the table. So he's trying to escape from that. And sometimes it's just a need to exercise as well.
How should a caregiver respond to these needs-driven behaviors?
I think the first point is to remember that all behavior has meaning. Sometimes it's obvious to figure out what that meaning is, and sometimes you have to be a detective. When does it happen? Where does it happen? What might the triggers be?
What are some tips for preventing anxiety or agitation?
Once individuals who have Alzheimer's become agitated, it's really hard to bring them back to a calm state. So prevention really is the key. You also can engage an individual in activities, sometimes physical activity, cognitive activity. Being productive really might address some of these issues of agitation and anxiety.
How can these symptoms be treated?
We like to encourage families to try to be a detective, modify the environment, change communication styles, see if there are other physical, maybe unmet needs. You can work with your doctor and see if there is some medication available that might help treat those symptoms.
How can a caregiver better communicate with someone with dementia?
Communication abilities change over the course of the disease. So once in the early stages, you might be able to give verbal instructions, write down detailed instructions on how to use the microwave. However, as the disease progresses, individuals need to be a lot more direct, concrete, use short, simple sentences as well. It's always, again, important to respond to the underlying feeling and emotion of what's being said. Communication is only 10% verbal. So we talk to caregivers a lot about when you approach someone, have very positive body language, relaxed state, warm, gentle tone. And I think the key is it's a quality of life for both the individual with dementia, but also the family caregiver as well.
We hope this podcast helped you understand the needs-driven behaviors of someone who is living with dementia. If you have an idea for a podcast topic, please email it to us at nursinghomes@hsag.com. Thank you, and stay tuned for upcoming podcasts in our Dementia Caregivers podcast series.